All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this weekend. The one that I know y'all have been waiting for. The game. Ohio State traveling to Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's going to be a top three matchup. It's going to be as high stakes as this game has ever been. The winner goes to Indianapolis the following week, and the loser has to look for on the inside out and hope that magic happens the following week to grant them a spot in the college football playoff. You're gonna have to hope for other teams to lose to carve your way into that 4-team bracket. Michigan has dominated on so many fronts this year. They tout one of the best offensive lines in the nation, one of the best defenses in the nation. They have, I'd say, an underrated wide receiving core. Their running back room, while the expectations were very high for this year, Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, it kind of underperformed for a stretch. But in November, that unit has really found its stride. These past couple weeks, you saw it with Penn State, you saw it with Maryland's. That group really starting to come into its own. And J.J. McCarthy has had, I'd say, a pretty respectable year this year. He's still a Heisman candidate, so he's had a pretty respectable year this year. They have dominated most of their opponents this year, although that Maryland game was a struggle, and that leads me to my next point. This Michigan team looks a lot like they did last year. They dominate against the teams that they should dominate. But then there's some games, like that Maryland game, where Michigan looked kind of human. Maryland really kind of humanized them. And they looked vulnerable for parts of it. Now, if you rewind to last year, Michigan played Illinois the week before they played Ohio State and looked very vulnerable in that game. They then moved on to dominate Ohio State the following week in the shoe. Is that what happens this year? I'm not sure. I know it's having Sharon Moore on the sideline instead of Jim Harbaugh. that's a big deal, not having the presence of your head coach on the sideline for a game like this. I'm not going to say that's going to be the deciding factor, but it is something to consider. And every little factor matters in a game of this magnitude, and a game of two teams this evenly matched. And while Michigan has excellent units, I will say, even though this game is in Ann Arbor, I think Ohio State outmatches them because they have a Ferrari on offense. You've got Marvin Harrison Jr., you've got Emeka Buka, you've got Kyle McCord, who's gotten very comfortable with those receivers and has really made a name for himself. He struggled a lot early in the season, but the quarterback play for Ohio State has gotten a lot better, and Ohio State's defense is the best it's been in years, and that's been their downfall these past couple of years. And you saw that defense really let them down in this game last year. I don't think you're going to see Ohio State's defense let them down in this circumstance this year. And I think offensively, Michigan has looked kind of sluggish these past couple of weeks against Penn State, against Maryland. It looks sluggish, and they cannot perform like that against Ohio State this Saturday, because Ohio State will be clicking. Even though this is on the road, that offense is going to be clicking. And I simply think that in this game, this weekend, that Ohio State offense is going to be a little too much for the Wolverines. And for that reason, my radar kind of sides with the Buckeyes. I like Ohio State to win this game by the score of 31-23. It'll be another one-possession game. It'll be competitive. It'll be everything that you would expect this game to be. It'll be thrilling. I love the animosity that these teams have for each other. You know, you can't use the letter M in the state of Ohio this week. It's just that significant. It's just that big, and the stakes are just that high. It just means that much. But Ohio State has lost this game in the past 2 years. I know that there is pressure on Ryan Day right now, which I think is a little ridiculous given what he's achieved there. I think he's achieved a lot of great things at Ohio State so far. He's manufactured a lot of great teams. But nonetheless, his back is against the wall, and you've seen how Ohio State has performed with their back against the wall this year on the road at Notre Dame. In that Wisconsin game, they're struggling for a little while. When their back is against the wall, this team finds a way to win. And I think they will find a situation on Saturday where their back is against the wall. And it's going to be something that Ohio State is not unfamiliar with. And given that experience, having to overcome adversity, having to go into hostile environments like South Bend, like Camp Randall, and find wins, I think having that experience this year is a tremendous feather in the Buckeyes' cap. And you're going to see how much that experience has prepared them for this game. And for that reason, I'm siding with the Buckeyes 31-23 this Saturday, and I think they will be playing in the Big Ten Championship against Iowa in Indianapolis the following week. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.